name is Ryan Charleston, CEO, co-founder of Bitcorati.com. It's a math-based ink company.
And what is the Bitcorati?
Bitcorati is everyone here at this conference. It's all the enthusiasts, miners, investors, entrepreneurs, people involved in Bitcoin. That's the Bitcorati.
You told me that you're building like a database, right? Are you working with the NSA to compile all the Bitcoin enthusiasts? No, I'm just kidding. You're building a directory of Bitcoin people, right?
Yeah, essentially at the core, at the foundation of what we're starting with is like a Yahoo directory. And then looking at things like social networks and ratings and review sites like Yelp, and borrowing elements of that, and sort of looking at the key trends of the last 20 years on the web and seeing the things that actually worked and helped the web grow, and bringing those together and building the same thing for Bitcoin, and helping Bitcoin grow and helping the Bitcoin businesses grow and helping that ecosystem grow faster.
You gonna call it the orange pages?
No, just the Bitcorati.
Yeah, no, that's so... I mean, the concept of pages is so outdated, or like yellow pages, right? You don't need a book anymore to find some services that you're interested in. The usefulness to the end user, it seems to me like, would be they could visit one place and they could get reviews and listings of Bitcoin, services, businesses, and all kinds of other stuff?
Correct. Absolutely. So anywhere in the world, you can, either from a mobile device, your desktop, or a phone, you can find a place to spend your Bitcoins, and it'll be updated. It'll be fresh information. You can even set alerts so that, say you're in a specific zip code or a town, and it'll constantly update you and say, hey, this merchant just is now accepting Bitcoins, or this new Bitcoin business just started, and it'll keep you up to date, and it'll be sort of a modern directory, kind of a new age directory, Bitcoin being at the center of it.
Yeah, and does it have like a community aspect as well?
Yeah, so it's basically 4 parts: directory, community, reviews, and ratings.
Tell me more about the community part.
You obviously need a community if you're going to get reviews and ratings. So, looking at how Yelp or Angie's List built their communities up, as well as like a LinkedIn, getting that community aspect too. So, because just a directory alone is not anything special, it's boring, right? We have those, but building a directory and having a community around it that will actually engage and be active and review and rate, and be involved is what really brings value to it, and brings value to the users, brings value to the businesses and the merchants.
And is there like a mobile app that goes along with this, or is it a website?
There will be. Okay. Yeah. We're still in the development phase, actually in a very early discovery stage, and we're trying to attract capital right now. We have some interested parties, and once we have that, we're going to full steam ahead. So.
And have you had trouble finding certain Bitcoin businesses yourself? Is this something that you would want to use?
Yeah, and trying to find them, trying to organize them, and telling friends or family they're asking me, what's this Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin? And then one of the big first questions that comes up is like, okay, so I bought some Bitcoins. Well, where do I spend them, and how do I spend them, right? There's not many places I can. That's the big thing. There's not many places I can spend them. Sure, there's like 20,000, 25,000 places right now around the world that you can use your Bitcoins at, but people don't know that, and there's no real easy way, one point that you can go to find out where to spend your Bitcoins. It's kind of scattered about the web right now, so we want to pull it all in and organize it, make it look pretty, obviously, and just help promote Bitcoin, and then help promote Bitcoin businesses. It was a problem I had personally. I've been following Bitcoin since September of last year. Really started getting more involved January, February of this year. And then the price explosion obviously brought the media attention. That's when I said, okay, I need to move on this idea, because it's time, it's ready, and people want it. And I've been to the 2 conferences now, including this one, and everybody I talk to says, yeah, we need something like that.
Thank you so much. What's your website?
You can go to bitcorati.com and sign up for our beta, and hopefully we'll be launching in October.
Awesome, Ryan. Thank you so much for talking with me today. I'm here talking with Andre DeCastro, and he's from eCoinCashier. Tell me about eCoinCashier.
eCoinCashier will be an application that we're working on to allow individuals to quickly sell Bitcoins through any mobile device. So if an individual wants, let's say $100 or $200 very quickly, they'll be able to choose the velocity, whether they want the money in an hour, in the same day, or through an ACH process of 2 to 3 days. And there'll be different exchange rates, making it convenient for the individual who has Bitcoins to receive dollars.
So it's only for selling Bitcoins, is that correct?
Yes. The application for the consumer is only for selling Bitcoins directly to eCoinCashier. And eCoinCashier on the back end either sells it on exchanges or to accredited investors through an investment strategy.
Right. So I'm wondering if you chose that strategy of just only offering to consumers the option to sell Bitcoins, is that because of regulatory reasons?
Yeah, we want to concentrate. We want to make sure that we're providing the fastest, most convenient service to the user of the application. We didn't want to complicate things with the regulatory space that exists today. So that's a path we chose. Our core competency is being an investment company, and we want to maintain our core competency, as opposed to be one of these regular exchanges where you can buy and sell.
That all makes sense, and I know there have been some other businesses that have chosen the strategy of we're only going to sell Bitcoins. I don't know of anybody who said we're only going to buy Bitcoins, but I know of some businesses who have said, like, basically we're going to be a Bitcoin vendor in order to avoid being classified as a money services business or whatever. Is that something that came up on your radar too?
We're unsure whether we won't be a money services business. We have requested an administrative ruling from FinCEN to find out if we are. If we are, we will register and apply for the proper licensing.
That's a pretty complex process, isn't it? I mean, doesn't it cost a lot and take a long time to get that license to be a money service business?
No. What I found out is that there's not as much friction as most people actually believe there is.
Okay.
We've taken a different path, and our path was to request an administrative ruling and asking FinCEN whether our business processes actually lend us to be a money services business before we register. And since we're developing the application now, we knew that we would need time anyway, so we're using the opportune time that we need to develop the best product possible to apply to the regulatory bodies to find out where we land.
So you're going to be pretty much the only one out there so far who allows people to sell Bitcoins and get the money fast. How did you come up with the idea to do this?
We were looking at some of the competing products out there, the Bitcoin ATMs of the world, and we quickly realized that they're not ATMs whatsoever, they're exchangers. And I thought it was rather silly that one would have to trek across town, possibly in the rain or in the snow, to convert Bitcoins to dollars. The thought was, well, if we did this conveniently and we allowed the user to choose the velocity of receiving the actual dollars, then they may want to pay different rates. So the rate will be based on the velocity that the user chooses, and we thought it would be much more convenient. Being a company that's positioned as an investment entity with Bitcoins, it just made sense to release that type of functionality on mobile devices.
So is this almost like the modern equivalent of like, we'll buy gold or something like that? You know, you can take your gold to a place and they'll buy it from you, and maybe if you want it really fast, they're not going to pay as much for it, things like that?
Yeah, I guess you could equate it to something like that, right? If you were to see Bitcoin as a commodity or an investment vehicle of some sort, that's sort of like what we're positioned. I don't think we're going to have any bright neon lights on our application, and we're going to try to be very simple for the user and very convenient, but I guess you could equate it to that.
I think it's cool that it would be on a mobile platform, so they wouldn't have to go to an actual place. And, honestly, there have been times in the past where I wished, I wish I could just pay my credit card off with Bitcoins or something like that, because I'd like to do it today, and I'd like to do it with no hassle. So is this a problem that you had? Who do you anticipate being your end users?
Well, it's interesting that you mention the credit card angle, because that's one of the vehicles we plan on delivering money to. If you owe a balance on your credit card and we make a payment towards your credit card, you know what happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you have a little more credit, right, to spend. But no, I think we came across it because we wanted to be investors in the Bitcoin space. We want an easy vehicle to be able to collect Bitcoins. We think that there are many accredited investors that we do business with who have a hard time today getting Bitcoins. And probably the best way to do it is through dollar cost averaging. So if they contract with us, we're able to give them a regular amount of Bitcoin, and we're able to provide the convenience to the end user.
Okay, so you're basically waiting on the regulatory side to find out what you need to do to get this up and running. And then, what's your plan from there once you get some more clarity?
Time is something interesting, not only from the regulatory angle, but both my partner and I, we're software engineers, and we understand that to build good software, you need time. We just started about a month and a half ago, so it'll take a couple of months to put out a quality product, right, that people will use, will find exciting, and will find interesting. So we needed the time for the development cycles anyway. I think that both of them are a perfect marriage.
So you have a partner and you who are actually going to be coding on this app, like you're going to be working on it yourselves?
Yeah. We're both engineers, and we're both contributing to putting the app together. A project, right? An exciting one.
That sounds like a lot of work. I mean, not only are you kind of developing this new company, but you're also working on the app. I mean, is it a lot?
No. I think it keeps both of us very busy, but we're very excited about it.
And you're writing papers to FinCEN, right? You're asking for administrative rulings. So
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well,
really doing it all.
Yeah, I think that's part of the small business owner, someone who's trying to get something off the ground.
Yeah, well, it sounds exciting, and I'd like to hear an update. Once you have it out, I'd love to, test it out. Or
Absolutely. We'll contact you so you can get a full review.
And do you have a website yet?
Yes, we do. You can go to eCoinCashier.com, and you can already register to be part of the alpha testers. So when we have an alpha version, we'll let the users who signed up know so they can play with it, give us feedback so we can have a better beta product.
Cool. All right, Andre, thank you so much for talking with me today. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
More than 300,000 users and counting trust blockchain.info. It's a Bitcoin wallet service and a wealth of Bitcoin information, and is completely free to use. With a blockchain.info wallet, you'll get the convenience of a web wallet and the security of a desktop client. Blockchain.info is also a block explorer. You can use it to see Bitcoin transactions in real time, check the balance of any Bitcoin address, and view many handy Bitcoin charts, all for free. See what they have to offer today at blockchain.info.